So what is this talk about? After this talk, I want you to leave with the feeling in your head that you always have to start with accessibility, because otherwise you end up with a lot of mess in your code when you actually try to implement it later on, or with a lot of tech debt that is very hard to catch up. So as Michael introduced me a little bit before, let me go. Sorry. Yes, okay. So yes, this is like professional me. I started to work with Angular at the version 8. So that was, I think, the EV times. Maybe it's 7 years ago. I did forget to change, but we have Angular 20 on production. Don't curse us. We did update. I just forget to update slides. What I love the most about the front-end development is NX architecture with NX accessibility. I'm doing now a lot of accessibility, and this topic is so huge that whenever I think I feel that I know a lot, I'm still finding more places to learn. I did actually order 12 books to learn it from the beginning to the ground up. And this is like the professional me. I have also my private side. So as Michael said, I was a long time World of Warcraft gamer. I've spent 15 years playing first at the city level, then on the country level, and I finish up playing on the global level because I'm a long way dreamer. I like to follow dreams and to set up hardcore goals. And when I met my wife, she told me that I can't be successful programmer and a successful gamer if I'm playing 16 hours a day, because this is just not fitting up. So I said, okay, I can stop gaming, but I need to be in top 20 world and top 1 Poland. While top 1 Poland were quite easy to achieve, top 20 in the world is hardcore because you are competing with Asia, and the guys from Asia are just on different level. They should have their own their own ranking because they are crazy. And after that, after being in top 20 in the world, we have created an event like saying goodbye to me. And yes, that was actually my last time with my guild members. We were playing together 15 years together, but we are here 19 people. As maybe you know, the guild should be 20 because one guy was so drunk the last night that he fell asleep for the picture, and we didn't even notice that he was not on the picture. He was quite sad. What else I remember from this meeting? This guy wanted just buy a new iPhone. He have sit on this wood, and the iPhone just inside the water. All right, this is about me. Let's go to the, maybe it's working again. It's not working. Let's go to the accessibility. What is accessibility? Who needs it? Actually, to make it, I don't know why it's not working. What we need to know, we have to know what are the difficulties that other people have while actually using our application. So we have to make it accessible for everyone. As simple as that, just coming from this. I'm stupid, okay. Just coming from this. First, the thing we have to understand is actually the focus control. If you imagine how the website is looking for the person, so using the assistive technologies, they imagine it as a simple vector. They can use only two moves. They can go forward or backward. So if you're interested on the point on the position 13, you have to click 12 times to reach that point. So this is quite simple example. This is maybe very simplified navigation, but we can go to the most advanced example, like the complex vector, when the point that interests us is on the place 44. So we have to click 43 times to get to this point. And then what happens is some programmer move it to the place 20. I'm never coming back to the website if I click 43 times and then they move the point. So this is actually tough. And we have a solution for those complex vectors, and the solution is actually the foundation of HTML programming. If we can't tell it, it's now the programming language with so many stuff. And the basic is actually headers. The headers are checkpoints for assistive technologies. First, it gives a structure, so you can just jump between headers and understand what is actually happening here. If I'm interested to actually check every point, if not, I'm just leaving. The most important rules is the header of level 1 for a page, and then subsequent headers of the level lower below. Maybe you see that there is no header of level 5 because I'm not using them. For me, it's too much. It's better to go with more headers of level 3 and give this kind of structure, but this is very subjective from me. how it's looking like. If you want to test this in home with the browser, you can't use these shortcuts like H number 2 or number 3. You need NWA or any actually tool that is working, maybe Orca, VoiceOver, NWA, anything that's better than included functions. How does it work? We can click H to go to the next header. If you want to go to next level 3, we just click 3. So we can skip whole vector in couple of clicks. So this is very handy. But still, there is one more problem we have to understand. When we actually have more vectors and the vectors with portals, so with anchor tags, or if the website is poorly done with spans with redirects, or with buttons that are touching router. So I have seen many many things actually to make the navigation work. How to fix it? Because even if we put the headers here, this will not help us, yes, because we still need to remember where are the portals. If they are anchor tags, this is quite simple, but if they are not, and this is happening quite a lot, we have to remember exact position. We can fix it coming back again to the basics, and the basics are landmarks. They are another checkpoints and another thing to make us do proper structure for our website. The only thing I'm not really understanding is why the NWDA team chose letter D for landmarks and letter H for headers. This is very counterintuitive for me. They should just go with L, but okay, that was the option. And if you go with Orca, they have different letters, so it's not simple. We can go click only a couple of times. This is actually the cookies banner that is stopping us to coming to the website. And if we put a landmark on the cookie banner, we can use skip link and just leave it. Otherwise, we can be focus trap inside. Okay, those are the basics that I want you to know, because we'll be fixing some stuff later on. Then, as we are all performance nerds in Pushbase, I will show you a little bit performance side of bot accessibility. So let's come back to the years, let's say, when I was a junior programmer. I was a backend developer at the beginning, and I was not very happy with working with the front end until they show me Angular. The Angular changed everything. And let's imagine that we have very, very, very old school code in our product, and we have to make that product accessible. And I know nothing about the accessibility. I only have a Stack Overflow and my imagination. So our testers say me, listen, Adrian, you have to change it. We are listening to the path of the icon. So this is not good. I see that this is okay. I go with hand. Okay. So as you can see, the DOM is fine. It's not very heavy. Then, but we have a mess in accessibility tree. This should not be looking like this one. And the path is written. So what I type in the Stack Overflow, how to hide the path from the button. And we can hide it with the alt tag, because the alt have higher force than the source. So we'll cover it up. But then nothing is written by the assistive technology. So at this moment, normally I will get furious and just write, please make this button accessible. And this is actually doable, but as everything in the programming, it have its own price. How to make the span icon button accessible? We have to put roll button, tap index 0 to make it actually focusable. And those two are included in button. So if we just go with the button, we don't have to put this mess inside. The only thing that we have to put is aria label, because that's an icon button. How does it look in DOM? We have a garbage inside. If we have one component used in one place in application, we will be fine. But if we are doing a design system and this button will be used by hundreds of developers over the world, we will feel that DOM size getting bigger. And if we do in every place this type of, I explain it like iron code. I don't know if this joke fits in English. In Polish, it's quite good. But yes, the accessibility tree is actually perfect. We don't have any nesting, because if you have nesting in accessibility tree, this means that something is wrong. We should optimize it to delete every nesting, because some of the assistive technologies will stop on the nesting. So if they have a nesting, they will stop, second pause, another nesting stone, second pause, and this is very annoying to work with. And how to actually fix it? We have to understand that the lack of basic accessibility is actually skill issue. So we have just to learn again the basics, and doing everything on div and span is road to nowhere because we have to put aria to fix it. And the first rule of aria is don't use aria, go with HTML. So the fix for this span icon button will be changing it to the button and putting a aria label save data. We can't omit putting aria label. We could put it in the alt, but the aria label is better based on the documentation. So this is not my opinion, but we have a save data button. This is like from the introduction for the live coding, my favorite part. Also, I love comics. So let's go to the small history. We are working at the computer cafe. Whoever was playing at computer cafes, I'm checking every cities. One. Let's go with the two. I was I wanted to ask who was sleeping in computer cafes, but with only us two, this is hard chance. But yes, I was sleeping in the computer cafes when there was €3 for a night at computer cafes. So this was perfect. When they cut me internet because I was playing too much in home. Okay, so we are working in the computer cafe and we have a weather widget. So we wanted to make money based on that. If there is a bad weather outside, the people will last longer in computer cafes. But this changed nothing. The people will stay there all day. So our UI UX designers come with a brilliant idea to start selling food to our lovely gamers. They go directly to the director. Director loved the idea. He already got early wireframes and he wants the feature in 2 months. So the team is not quite happy with that. But what we can do? We can either get fired or do that in 2 months. So our front-end team, let's go me. What we are doing? We are waiting for the mockups from Figma, copy the HTML code and put it inside. And just let's wait for them. If we are doing such a thing, there is a very high chance that accessibility will be not working at all. But they are getting better. They are getting better with auto-generated code. We are meeting again in 2 months. And what is happening? Bucket is merged, design is ready, even the front end is on the last QA phase. But at the end, we got a very, very hard question. Did you remember about accessibility? We did not. And if we have 2 days to official release, we are actually doomed if we implement everything. So I will use the movie classics. Final Destination, maybe you know this movie. When you're waking up with the tears in your face that you are all that close to dying. So this is us. We have now 1 week. And let's change the Final Destination, don't get fired, and let's go for some live coding. Hopefully it will get better than this stuff that is no more working. But yes, I never changed the battery in it, and I made 20 talks, so obviously it could die, I think. And I got it from Temu for €40, I think. So I'm impressed that it was working so long. Okay. Ooh, the font size is extreme. Okay. I will scale it. Don't worry. Person should be fine. Yes, okay. Perfect. Firstly, let's see the component in action. How does it look like? Close the storybook. I don't need it at the moment. So how to trigger the accessibility tree? You have the little guy over here. Whoever tried to click this little guy that is here to check what he's doing? Good, not bad. That was actually a tricky question because that's hidden by default. You have to turn it on in settings. So normally you are not seeing this guy, but what is changing? We are changing from DOM to accessibility tree. Those buttons are coming from storybook. Let's see what is inside. It's starting with generic. So if something is starting with generic, normally is bad. And then we have a bunch of text and bunch of generics inside. The only thing that is working is actually the checkbox. So we have to fix it. Let's see how it's working. We have the checkboxes inside. We can click them, maintain the state. So if we were not testing the accessibility, this is working, yes? But let's see about the technical debt we have created. What we have here? We have bunch of spans and bunch of divs. We have to fix three things. Firstly, we don't have any keyboard navigation. Those are not even focusable. So we can't actually use the component. Even it's not visible. Even if we implement, we ship the feature and someone come with attendees and want to try it, they can't because this is not focusable. It will be not announced. So we have to fix accessibility tree, interactions, and HTML. So always go with HTML first because this will fix a lot of problems. First, we have to make it focusable and with the proper role. So we go with the button. If something have a click event binding, it can be a span. That's like the first rule. Normally it's taken by the linters if you have one properly set up. What else we have? We have a div, and inside the div we have a loop of items. So in 90% of situations, this should be an ordered list, or ordered list if the order matters. Yes. Let's go inside. And here we have another div. And this was not working until Angular, I think 17 or 18. We could not put another list on the top component and their list item inside. I don't know. I think they fixed it. Maybe there is a Matthew who know why it was not working. Like why it was not working when you put unordered list in one component and list item in the lower component. It started to work like, I don't know, a couple of months ago, maybe a year. It's not that important. We talk later. Sorry, tomato HDH. Okay, let's see how does it look like now. We have a button, better. We don't have the garbage. Before we have all the stuff in the one level, one dimension. And we have a list. So we group those items inside. Good. Now we have to explain to the user what we can see with our eyes. And what we can see clearly that this button is responsible for some drinks. I have a cocktail icon. So we have to go with the area label. Drinks. What else? Starting from the button. After interacting with the button, some content is popping up quickly. So we have to inform user that this is happening. And if you want to learn accessibility, you can either go crazy and try to memorize all the documentation. I tried that. You can go crazy with that. Or better, just to understand what you have to fix and what do you have to explain. Then it's easier to actually remember all that stuff. So this is actually, it has some pop-up. It have pop-up. And it have a pop-up of menu. If you go with the has pop-up true, it will be menu also. The worst thing about those tags is that if you delete it, you don't have any compilation error and it is not visible in accessibility tree. So those should be hardly unit tested to prevent some developer coming in 6 months and think, what is that has pop-up? What about this? Huh? Okay. Working? Cool. So yes, we have to unit test all of those. What else? We are sure that after clicking this button, we are controlling this object. Because in the normal world, we can have many buttons and many pop-ups that can pop up either at the bottom of the page. So we have to go with the controls. That this button controls, let's go with the menu. Drinks. Let's go with the drinks. For that, we need an ID. The problem is that we don't have a name for our list. So if the user lost attention after clicking the button, he can forget where he is. We have to give another area label. So we can take a noob version or junior version and just copy this here. But then whenever we change this area label, we have to remember about this one. and the refactoring tools inside IntelliJ and Cursor are not working for that. So we should go with area labeled by and go with the drinks trigger. And then we need again we need an ID. And those are not visible, unfortunately all, but this go. Yes, we have a drinks in the list. Better, but we have to click the list item in order to see what is inside. We can actually try to brute force it with labeling, but there is a better solution. The better solution is roll. I show you that putting roll button for span is not a bad idea, but we will be using rolls also, and it will be roll menu. And if we put a roll menu to unordered list, we have to go with roll hill also. And this will be menu item checkbox. It should combine all the levels. And now we have menu item checkbox and the text inside. We don't have to go deeper. We still can, but we don't have to. Okay, so this is like from the basic accessibility fixes. Let's go for the functionalities. Close this one. So after pressing tabulator, I have downloaded a tool for showing the key bindings I'm putting, but as I'm on Ubuntu, it stopped work after 15 minutes. I already tried in 5 places and I'm just not using it anymore because it's triggering me so much. So I'm putting a tabulator, and as you can see, the black styling is not very fitting well with the component because that was not tested. Span was not focusable. So we can fix it, and we have to use focus visible pseudo class. Let's go with the blue, some deep blue. Deep sky blue is cool, I like it. Make it a little bit bigger. This will be applied whenever we make interaction with the keyboard, but we need also a focus for interaction with a mouse. And let's go with the deep pink, maybe. Deep pink is fine. So if I click it with the mouse, I have a deep pink. If I interact with keyboard, I have a blue. Cool. But I can do nothing. I can press enter. It's opening and closing the window. Why? Because I have to move focus manually. And when we read the documentation, they say that after opening the menu, the first item should be focused. How to do it? We need to allow programmatic focus. But it's not so easy without mouse. So we need to give tab index -1 for the wrapper, unordered list, because we should not focus it. And then tab index -1 here. And now is the question, why I'm putting tab index -1 to list item if I want to focus it programmatically? Because either putting -1, 0, 1 or any other positive value give me the possibility to do that, and I want to block the navigation with tabulator because we need tabulator to actually leaving the context. When we want to focus the item, we want to focus it when the menu is open. So we need an effect for that. This effect should trigger when our menu is open, okay, and when our menu is visible. Why both? Because we have an if here, and we will get true from the open before the unordered list will be rendered. So if we will try to query access some element inside that unordered list, it will be not existent. So we need also a menu. So let's go with the menu. This will be signal element reference or either undefined. Okay. And we go with the view child. Menu. So whenever it's open and the menu is already inside, we want to focus first item. So how to do it? Let's go with the menu. So we could actually delete it and go with the question mark here, but this is subjective. I just rather to have it both in the if. For me, it's more readable what I want to do. I go with the native element, and I want to select every list item that's inside. Okay. List items. And focus the first element. Okay. Okay. Let me trick it a little bit. Okay. Yeah, I know. I do little brute forcing. Ah, shit. Right, sorry for cursing. I promised my wife that I will be not cursing on meetups because they are recorded. You caught me off a guard with this one. Yes, return the stuff. Let's see if it's working. It's working. The focus is not perfect, but as I hate styling, that style change was the only one that I will make for you. If you want, you can play with it later on and do styling by your own. I just don't like styling at all. What do we have to do also? We still cannot navigate. We need to implement navigation with keyboard. So we need an event binding here. This will be a key down on drink key down. Okay, so we are passing the keyboard event and the drink. Here comes a little bit tricky part about the focus management, that we have to actually find the document that is focused in DOM or in document, sorry. So what we should start with preventing the default behavior and stop immediate propagation for that. Okay. Now we have a full control, everything is disabled, and we need an index. And the best way to find an index is actually to go with array, because they have very handy array from list items. Okay. Index of, and that method that is helping me a lot is this one, the search element, that's generic. So we can put actually almost everything inside. So I will go with the document active element as HTML list element. So if our event key is arrow down, or event key is arrow up, so we can actually choose two options. you can either implement how to tell it. If you're on the last element and you put arrow down, it will transfer you to the first element. That's the first thing you could do. And the other one is implement insert or end. So when in any position you are, you can go to the first or the last element. I will go with only arrows. So our index will be equal to index plus 1. Okay, and we focus the list items index. But this is only working until the last element. To make it working for every element, we have to use a little trick with the modulo operator. Okay, I'm starting to sweat. Like there's a lot of things to actually implement, and ain't no chance that I will do everything because this is like for hour of live coding. -1. Then we go again with the modulo. Okay, and the difference is that I need to add the length here. And again, focus it. Let's take this one. Should be fine. Try arrow up. Okay, it's working. So I leave the. Let me take a select. Else if event key equals enter or space like that. So when we are selecting the item, our focus should return to the trigger. Otherwise, we have lost the focus and we are nowhere. So how to do it? We have to close the menu. Are we closing it here? Check. Okay, so we are closing the menu. Good. Checkbox. Okay, we are good here with the checkbox. So it should be with closing. Escape. So this open, close, set false. Okay. So I want to leave, putting escape, and my focus is gone. That's why it's so important to move the focus to the trigger. This one. For that, we need the trigger from here. Go with the required now. Okay, because they are still different types of menus. The text that is not working with the icon, there's like a work for 45 more minutes, and I am already past the time. So I will show you what else is to fix here. The worst thing actually is it's laying here. It's not easy without mouse. Is that fire and cold icons and ice icons that will be not read by the assistive technologies, and we have to inform user about that it can get hurt with the temperature. So I will show you quickly why it's not working. this is not working because we have a span with the class, and the icon is actually inside that class. So to fix it, we have to take the icon from the classes, put some paragraph, hide one span, use a strong. So this is like 10 more minutes of working just to fix that icon. So like you see, that was very simple example, almost no TypeScript, and we have that many things to change to make it work. And when we have a time pressure in company, this can be very difficult to handle on. Okay, go to the slides again. So yes, as you can see, I was sweating same like this guy. This is like a lot of technical depth when you are not starting with the accessibility. So I want you to be, like when it was, like the Venezuelan streamer. Maybe you don't know, but there was a worldwide event when players from Tibia, World of Warcraft had a tournament of singing on TeamSpeak. And this guy won the tournament. Pretty good times for me in gaming. Okay. So that's all from me. If you have any question, you can ask by me, or if you want, we can talk out the stage. Let me take a sip.